In this segment, we're going to look at removing hot spots. And hot spots are these areas that show up. They're actually a reflection of the lights, and depending on your subject's skin or the makeup or the lighting, you can get more or less of these. And here they are. Yeah, they're pretty prominent here. Now, I don't want to remove the highlights from the face, really. I want to remove the highlights, but I want to remove anything that would look overly shiny or oily or reflective or things like that. So you can see we've got a couple spots here, 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 a little bit here, maybe a little bit on the chin. So let's go ahead and remove those. So let's go ahead and bring up the layers palette, and I'll go ahead and duplicate the layer so you can see a before and after. You could do this on a separate blank layer if you want, or you can just do this, right on a duplicate layer. So let's go ahead and begin. There's just a quick and easy setup for it. You want to grab the brush tool. You want to get the clone stamp tool. You're going to set the mode to darken. So what it's going to do, it's only going to affect pixels that are lighter than the area you sample. So if we sample some nearby skin, it's only going to affect the brighter areas than the shiny areas that you'll see here. We're also going to lower the opacity down to around my favorite setting, 40%, the magical setting. All right, so let's go ahead and start. Let's zoom in a little bit. And what you're going to do is you're going to have to it's very important because of all the different changes in the tone of the skin, that you choose an area that is very, very close to where the hot spot is. So I'm going to choose maybe this area right above, and all you're going to do is just click a few times right over that, just enough to remove that little hot spot area. You have to be careful that you don't actually create a dark area there. You just want to remove that, and it looks a little dark to me, so let's undo that. I'm going to use Option Command Z, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to kind of, maybe one more, 6, to get back to where we started. Then let's try over here, because I don't want it to look. There we go. That's much better. I sampled from a better spot. Instead of sampling up here where it was darker, I sampled right here, and it turned out much, much more realistic. And we'll kind of get rid of those. Now, this is another one of those techniques where you feel like you're not accomplishing a lot until you do a before and after. So let's get that. All right, up here we're going to have to move to a bigger brush. You don't have to move to a bigger brush. It's just to go a little quicker. And let's try sampling maybe this area right here and see if we can just tone that down a little bit. I'm painting in this case, and maybe, see, I think this is going to be too dark. Maybe over here be a little bit lighter. Kind of cover. Whoops! I hit the eyebrow and picked up that. So don't you love to hear? Oops! It's not really what you want to hear when you're retouching a photo, especially if you say it to yourself out loud. I got a little dark area there. We don't really want that dark area, so let's get rid of that. I'm going to fix that with a healing brush in just a moment, and then kind of get rid of this. Maybe we'll move to a smaller brush. I think, as usual, when you use too big a brush, it usually causes problems. So I've got that little mess there. Let's just get rid of that with the healing brush. It's just quicker to get rid of that. See, look at that. One click, boom, it's gone. And what I'm really trying to do is maintain as much skin texture as possible. That's why this technique works so nicely. So let's clicking over here, and then it was only going to affect those ones that are brighter. So it's just, I want to keep the highlight, so I don't want to completely lose that, but I just want to lose the extra shininess there. Over here on the side there, much better. A little bit on the nose right here. A couple of clicks should do that. That got a little dark. Let's try. You know you got a bad spot if it gets dark. You just want it to blend, not look dark. Then maybe down here on the chin, right over here, just a little bit in that area. Got rid of that. Much better. Again, I'm trying to maintain the highlights, but just get rid of the super shine. So let's see. It looks pretty subtle what we did, but let's do a before and after and see how subtle it was. Wow, see, it's a lot more than it appears to be. Now, if you feel like you've removed those and you've taken out too much highlight, then what you can do is just go to the layers palette and just lower the opacity a little bit and watch the highlights start to come back a little bit. You just don't want to bring it back. There we go. You just don't want to go back so back far that it looks, oily or overly shiny. But there you have it, getting rid of hot spots. I seem to have a hot spot problem much more on men than women, partially because in most cases women will have makeup on where men will not. So not that men don't occasionally wear makeup, but usually not. And so I find this problem quite a bit on men, and that's where I don't normally take it out, but in this case we were able to take it out right here. So that's it, removing hot spots.